Hello everybody, welcome back to the OptiShot Academy. I'm Chad.
And I'm Ben.
Okay, so we are continuing to focus on getting you to control where that ball lands with your wedges so you can get it closer to the hole, shoot lower scores, have more fun playing golf. Having said that, this week we're going to talk about a pretty cool idea that goes a very long way. So for those of you at home who haven't yet broken 100 or looking to break 90, it's a great time to start this skill. You can't start building this skill too soon. Having said that, Ben, I would like to walk you through an activity that we learned from Dr. Rick Jensen. He showed this and he blew our minds. And then since then, when we've had our students do it at the Academy, it has a profound impact on people.
It works. This is one of my favorite activities. I can't wait for the people at home to see this one.
Okay, so bear with us here. We're going to have Ben sit down and he's going to be our guinea pig. And at first, I'm going to use a little Sharpie marker here. So we're just going to see if I put this on the ground. And then Ben, we have a pendulum. So at home you can use a string. You can tie a string to a washer, just any basic weight. So we're just looking to hang some weight, and you can see that Ben is just focused down the pendulum here. And Ben, is it fair to say that this thing is right over that purple Sharpie?
Yep, that is true. So I have both eyes open right now, and the pendulum is dangling right over the purple Sharpie.
All right, so I'm going to start to walk you through this. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, very good. So Ben, what I want you to do is I just want you to focus your attention on that pendulum swinging from left to right, up and down that expo marker. So in your mind, can you start to see that thing swinging wider and wider and starting to gain some energy here? So in your mind, can you make that more vivid? So it's going to get brighter in your mind, start to pick up more energy, and really start to swing here. Very good. So is it fair to say you're just seeing that thing swing from left to right in your mind?
That is true. It's getting bigger and bigger.
Very good, very good. So now what I want you to do is I'm going to turn this thing around. And I want you to imagine it's not going from left to right anymore. It's going to go more north and south, more up and down. It's like going down Interstate 95 when you're driving from New York to Florida. You got to get south, get where the weather's warm. Flying down the highway, and the faster you fly down that highway, the faster and faster that thing starts to swing. All right, very good, very good. So is it fair to say that in your mind you're just seeing that thing move up and down that Sharpie?
Yep, actually when I do this activity I like to kind of just move my eyes up and down the Sharpie, so I'm just visualizing the pendulum moving up and down it with both eyes open. It's crazy how much you can get that thing to swing if you can quiet down the mind.
Very good. So for those of you at home, this is a heck of an exercise to start to understand what the mind is capable of. Okay, so for a lot of you at home, if you have excessive swing thoughts, if you have a lot of internal self-talk, this is going to be difficult. You have to quiet your mind down like Ben had talked about and really start to sense, feel, see the pendulum doing what it's wanting to do. You want to try a different one?
You got it.
So if you have a quarter or a ball marker or something to that effect, let's see if you can start to visualize or sense or feel that thing moving around that circle in a counterclockwise. So it's going to be going from left to right in a counter or a clockwise, pardon me, fashion. And then as you start to see that, could you start to see that thing go faster and bigger and pick up some energy? Maybe it gets a little brighter. Like a merry-go-round at a state fair or something like that, and it's going around and around. And I wonder, as you do it, can you start to see it reverse? So the ride's going to slow down, and then it's going to start to go back the other way. So we're going to go counterclockwise. Can you start to see it switch directions? There we go.
And now you're asking a lot.
So now we have a backwards merry-go-round here. So it's switched directions. So at home, you can see that his hand isn't moving. He's not influenced. He's just visualizing what this thing is doing. So when Dr. Rick showed this to us, our jaw about hit the floor. And then having said that, we can help our players at the Academy really understand what the mind is capable of. Okay, so you ready to show the people at home what this has to do with them playing better at golf?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so remember at home you can tie a washer to a string. You can put a little weight down there and then play around with this and see what's possible for you. So having said that, the skill that we're talking about is target awareness. Can you keep the target in mind? Can you visualize what you want the ball to do and keep that in mind throughout the motion?
Yeah, it's fascinating at the academy. A lot of times what happens to people is they get so internal with swing thoughts that they lose awareness of where the target actually is. So a lot of times we have conversations with people, they're frustrated that the ball is not going where they want it to go, and then we ask them a question, well, are you aware of where the target is? And then the simple answer is normally no. How can you complain about where the ball's going if you don't know where the target is?
Yes. Sounds obvious or sounds simple, but we see it so much. People get so consumed with how to swing it the right way and trying to keep their head down and you name it, that they actually lose a sense or an idea of where they're trying to send the ball. So the skill we want to get good at is just, can you keep the ball in mind, or pardon me, the target in mind, or visualize how you want that ball to get there. So of the two, would you rather just visualize what the ball does or the target over there somewhere?
I'm just going to visualize exactly what I want the ball to do, similar to what I was doing with the pendulum. So with the pendulum, I was visualizing what I wanted that thing to do. So I was seeing it go up and down, side to side, around. So I'm going to visualize exactly what I want this ball to do and see if my body responds to what I'm visualizing, similar to the pendulum.
Very good.
There we go.
Let's see what happens. So can you keep that ball flight in mind here? Okay, so now this begs the question, remember our scale of 1 to 5? Mm-hmm. All right, so we want to know on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being you could totally sense or see that ball flight throughout the entire swing, 1 being you could never see it. Where are we at on that one?
I was at a 5, so I had a very clear picture of what I wanted that ball to do. And for me, when I'm visualizing that shot, I see a blue shot tracer. Huh. So for those of you at home, when you're visualizing, I don't know why blue comes to mind, but there'll be a certain color that comes to mind when you're visualizing those shot shapes. So the more detailed you are, the more you're going to see maybe that colored tracer that shows up on the screen.
Very good. You want to try it again?
Let's try it again,
I wonder if you could visualize that thing flying a little left of the hole on this one.
Absolutely.
Very good. Uh-oh.
Oh boy!
Uh-oh.
Oh, man! This stuff works, people.
The cool thing about this is it never gets old. We always get fascinated and have such a kick out of when we watch people do it or play around with it ourselves. So, get you a pendulum, play around with it, and then when you're training this week, really start to keep the target in mind or the ball flight without getting so consumed with what the swing mechanics are doing. Keep up your training, and we'll look forward to seeing you the next time at the OptiShot Academy.